You're listening to the Microsoft Innovation Podcast, where we explore the intersection of people, business, and technology. This year, we're adding a new show to our lineup, The AI Advantage, to help you learn the skills you need to thrive in the AI era.
Welcome to the Ecosystem Show. We're thrilled to have you with us. Here we challenge traditional mindsets and explore innovative approaches to maximizing the value of your software estate. We don't expect you to agree with everything. Challenge us, share your thoughts, and let's grow together. Now, let's dive in. It's showtime. All right, welcome back. Three of us onto night for me to morning. This morning for you in Valencia is right. And so you can see the sun's gone down where I am. It's a lot darker and it's all nice and shiny in Spain. I don't know if anyone picked it, but it's like my new little my rocket to the moon and back. Nice little addition. I just picked up recently as a little backdrop item. But with that, we got an exciting week. And like next week, not quite next week, but by the time we record another episode, we will be all in person again. Probably try and get an episode recorded like we did last time at Dynamics Minds in Slovenia.
Well, so I wonder when you were doing the open there, it did occur to me. I wonder how many longtime watchers, you wouldn't pick this up if you were just listening, but I wonder how many longtime watchers of the show have noticed that we've traded in, those of us in Europe have traded in our glass of wine during the recording, and we're now drinking coffee. So we flipped the script. We are now recording these regularly in Mark's evening and our morning, but so we're a little more hyped, but a little bit less wine.
It's also based on how we all function, right? I function not at all in the evening, but you two seem to have a second wind.
So I now work so we live in Spain primarily, but we work with people all around the world. So I have this schedule now where on Tuesdays and Thursdays usually I kind of don't start my day until around noon. I take care of some family things that need to be done, whatever. And then I work into the evening. But I am such a long time night owl. I work so much better in the evening, right? That, it's 11 o'clock at night and Anna will come in and be like, "Are you almost done?" And I'm like, "Oh, come on. I could work for hours more."
Yeah, that's very true. That's very, very true.
That's interesting that once I hadn't picked that up about you guys, like your differences, because I am, according to my Aura ring, one of only 10% of the world that functions extremely well at 5 a.m. And so I get my best work done in the morning part of my day, and then the rest of it is all bonus time if I can keep the energy, cranking.
Wow, that's amazing. I am actually, according to my Aura ring, my chronotype is evening. What does that even mean?
That means you do your best work in the evening.
That is false.
That's
Shut up, Andrew.
my ring just says that I'm married. It does not pontificate on my chronotype or other physical traits. It just tells the odd girl or sometimes boy at the bar, get away. Be gone with you.
You don't know how people function differently, but also, yes. But also, I do feel like I do my best work in between. 3:30 and 7. But is that even evening? I don't know. We don't know.
Mm-hmm. That's nap time.
That's siesta time. It's siesta time in Spain, which is something I wish we rolled out worldwide. I couldn't believe when I walked the Camino in Spain for 33 days, and you would go into a town just on 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you'd want to go to a cafe, and they're all closed. And you're like, I'm a customer. Who cares?
Nobody
it's
cares.
Time. We don't.
Right, but siesta time is one, but and then after siesta time, you sleep later at night, right? So yeah. Today I went to drop off our daughter at school, which happens at 9. Nowhere in the world does school start at 9, but over
Yeah.
here it starts at 9. Coming back, I wanted to get a coffee for us. Only none of the cafes open until 10. And I'm like, this is coffee, people.
Yeah.
How do you?
Yeah.
But listen, taxation's really high, so I guess that's how we function. It's a good thing.
Before we get into what a busy month this is in the world of AI and technology more broadly, can we just all stop to reflect? Now, Anna and I did not get to walk the Camino in Spain, but Mark did, and his wife Meg was along. You and Meg did that together, right?
It together.
Can we just all reflect on a time before we had, 4-year-olds, when things like walking the Camino
and 3-year-olds was a thing.
Right,
3 days.
Right, could be done.
How could you do that now, right? Just, wow, mind-blowing.
Now it feels like a victory when one of us says, "I'll get the kid ready for school this morning." We're like,
yeah. Oh, it's not me. I can never sleep in. Yeah. It's definitely something now. Trading who gets to sleep in.
But also, it's like it's so hard. It's so hard. Like, for example, yesterday was a really, really, really busy day, and we solved a lot of things. And I had a lot of intense phone calls yesterday, right? And yet, my daughter came home from school and she needed her nails clipped. And I swear to God, that was the hardest job that I did yesterday.
It's hard work, little kids.
It was absolutely not. It was absolutely not planning a massive project. It was that.
Yeah, I had a heads up before we talk about a bit about Porteros and Dynamics Minds and the epicness of this conference. I had a long-time listener put in my diary a meeting this week because I've gone and set up on my LinkedIn. Then you can book a meeting. It goes straight to my Calendly if there's a spot free and it works for you. And so this, it's always, I feel a bit like gambling going on these calls because I have no idea who they are, right? And City is a long-time listener to the show. He's got an ISV business and a geography in the world and wants to know, how we could work together. And I find it's you never know who's listening to these things, right? Like he'd said he's been lurking for years.
Right.
And decided, hey, why don't we reach out and see how we can help? So if you're in that position, we're always open to having a chat if we can help you in any way on your project. But let's talk about Slovenia, right? The conference of all conferences when it comes to being able to mix great content, epic speakers, and then every evening's a carnival.
It says something. It says something about Dynamics Minds. So we're recording this on the European morning of Friday, the 16th of May. Mm-hmm. So we've got next week, this coming week ahead is Microsoft Build. And then the week following that is Dynamics Minds. And I think that it says something about Dynamics Minds that we've got Microsoft Build standing between us and Dynamics Minds. And we're talking about how Dynamics Minds is this absolutely epic event. So, if you've been following along with us over the last couple of years on this show, you know that we love that event and we love the organizers and we love the town. So the conference is held, and it's a massive conference, relatively speaking. It's held in a small town, right? So
there's a little, by the way, sorry to interrupt you. There's a little Disney short about a little boy in that town.
Wow.
Is there?
Yes. And it looks exactly like that. Like even the little shops, it's exactly like that. It's a little Disney short about diversity. It's so good.
I've gone and watched a bunch in the last couple of weeks, because Meg's encouraged me to, of travel videos of Porteros, and just to check out, show her, remember last year we had a lobster dinner and I was like, look at that, that's the restaurant right there on the water. We had our lobster dinner.
Well, so for those who are maybe coming for the first time, or, I remember the first year that we did this, I didn't venture out of the hotel
No,
much.
it didn't.
And then the second year, I realized what a mistake that is. So the hotel complex is not one hotel. There's the main hotel, but then there's multiple. It's part of a resort, so to speak. There, right on the water, on the Adriatic Sea, but it's located on this little peninsula that is roughly between Portorož and another town called Piran. So even though the event is in, I guess, like the postcode or the boundaries of Portorož, Piran is actually the town that most folks walk to, and you can walk right along the sea, right along the water. Yeah, exactly. And you can walk into Piran. So if you're attending this event this year, I really encourage you to find some time to go. I cannot with that.
Can you see that?
Trophy. Yes,
This is the only trophy my podcast has ever received. And it says here, Dynamics Minds, the most magical podcast, Mark Smith. And I didn't even know I was going to be awarded this. I didn't go to the event the first year it ran.
You wasn't even at the awards.
I wasn't at the event, but of course people quickly chimed in on social media that I'd won this award. And yeah, it's the only award this podcast has ever received. And how epic a design is that? It's amazing. And so they hooked me when they asked me to actually go the following year, which they actually asked me to go the first year, but I was like, it's too far away. And my kids were too young. But I'm pleased this is my second year going, and man, I'm looking forward to it.
Mark, when he was given, well, not given, but when he was awarded his award for his podcasting at the event last year, he was not at the awards event because he was off with Anna and me and Chris, and I think Will was there, and I think Keith Watling and Donna was there as well.
Yeah.
Like, it was this crowd that we had gathered, and we were all off slaughtering live lobsters for our dinner. They were swimming about a tank, and Chris was delighted by this. It was like, he was gleeful. He was just this giant lobster trying to escape when they brought it to him to pick out. Yeah. It's like trying to crawl across his table, and he was delighted by this.
It's a great event. It's a great event. And congratulations whoever took the award on my behalf last year. I heard it involved a lot of chocolates and stuff like that, but well done. I'll try and make the awards this year. I heard, Birdie told me that somebody else on this podcast might be getting an award. So let's see what happens.
Dynamics Minds is one event you don't want to miss. Microsoft product managers and industry leaders from all over the world converge in Slovenia to explore the latest in Dynamics 365, the Power Platform, and Copilot. Expect 3 days of in-person community connection, trailblazing insights, and a location sure to inspire our creativity. Early bird tickets are on sale now, and podcast listeners get 10% off by registering via the link in the show notes. Hope to see you there.
Yes, I'm sure that William will be very excited.
He will be ecstatic. I'm looking forward to actually seeing William's partner at this event. It's that'll be the first time I meet her.
She's very cool, very smart.
She's very cool.
Good. Hey, but one thing I want to crack on, as in we're running something at this event, right? Yeah. As in we're doing a lot of speaking at this event. How did it come about? What is it? And why is it important?
Mark's like, how did my idea? This was Mark's idea to do this. Mark's like, someone tell me about my idea. So at Dynamics Minds, we've been working with the organizers who, like I said, we love them. They're great. And we've organized this year what we're calling the Executive Forum. So the Executive Forum, I don't think that they've done anything like this before. It's aimed at technical and business leaders who might be attending, though of course I believe that all are welcome. And the Executive Forum is a series of 4 sessions that we're going to be sharing, and they're all thematically linked. Right. So they are, and I'm going to just pull up the list here so I can read them to you specifically. So I will begin. I'll kick it off on Monday, at, it looks like 2:15 local time there in Slovenia with a session called the Microsoft Partner of the Future. And then the next day, there will be a session at 9:00 called Building Your Microsoft Partner AI Practice. Anna, you're presenting that one.
Yes.
Is that the one that you're doing with who else is joining you for that?
I think Chris.
Chris, okay.
Yeah.
And then later in the day, there is the Microsoft Partner Execs. So later in the day at 2:15 on Tuesday, the 27th, there's the Microsoft Partner Execs Guide to Trustworthy AI. And I think that one is Anna, Chris, and Ioana is doing that. Okay.
That's right.
Can we just explain
from
who
Microsoft.
Ioana is? Yeah. Because some of the guests might not know.
Ioana is responsible for a lot of the Trustworthy AI work at Microsoft. She's right there making sure that all of the Microsoft products are, safe, that they give you good results, very much involved with the process of checking these things over and over and over again, being on call to double, triple, quadruple check everything that goes out. So one of the pioneers to actually figure out how do we even do this, right? So Ioana is there. She's been guiding us through this whole process because nobody knows, right? So she's been guiding us through this whole process. And after we say, look, this is how you should build your practice, we're going to go in and Ioana's going to say, look, there's nothing left behind. There are no secrets. This is how you do the thing. We're very, very grateful and privileged to have her.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. And then we'll finish on the forum will finish on Wednesday at 3:15 with a session, the closing, which is becoming a truly strategic Microsoft partner. So yeah, we've got 4 sessions as part of the executive forum: Microsoft Partner of the Future, Building Your Microsoft Partner AI Practice, the Microsoft Partner Execs Guide to Trustworthy AI, and Becoming a Truly Strategic Microsoft Partner. So, the executive forum is part of the partner business track at the conference. So, it's of course quite partner oriented. However, if you're not a partner and, if you are a technical or business leader from, say, a Microsoft customer, I would say that these sessions in the forum are something you should definitely attend, because I think it will help you understand what you need to know in order to select the correct Microsoft partner going forward for you. And we've talked a lot about this on the show, all of the changes that I think the partner community and that particular sub industry within Microsoft is undergoing. It's tough times for those partners, not because business is bad, but because business is changing so much. And many, many organizations are simply not set up to be able to absorb that change. And that's what we're going to be exploring. So we'll really, really try to help partners become the partners that they need to be in the era ahead, but also help customers understand what they need to know to discern the truly great partners from the mediocre ones.
Right. And that's not just, and that's not all, those are not all of the sessions that we're doing. We're actually doing a lot more.
Yeah.
So
that's just the forum, right?
That's just the executive forum. But the point is, within the executive forum, we are taking our partners and customers on a journey, right? So we are doing a whole thing: why partners need to change, how they need to change, right? And then what are the things that, our work must include from now on? So it's not just about how the partner changes their culture, but it's also about some brand new practices that we're going to include, which invariably means that we need to exclude other stuff because people don't won't all of a sudden want to just randomly pay more so that you can keep your traditional way of doing things and then adding all of the trustworthy AI stuff on top of it. And by the way, you need to add all of the trustworthy AI stuff on top of it because you will be touched by all of these tools and practices and so on and so forth. But apart from that, we have like, for Chris isn't here, right? For example, right now, but he's going to be involved in the keynote, and then he's going to do like an agent framework session as well. And then he's going to do an expert partner also. So it's a really, really busy week for us. What other sessions are you going to present, Mark?
Meg's coming with me, and she's doing one on AI adoption. She's doing a session. And then what I'm doing is one on 10 things that you need to do. This is aimed more at the consultants that are going to be there to take your career to the next level. It seems a lot of people are starting to become hyper-focused on or concerned about their career futures at the moment. And so it's it's an interesting topic. It's an interesting time. You know, we've seen over the last week, 7,000 people laid off from Microsoft. And if you're watching LinkedIn, you can see there's some upset people out there and can't kind of reconcile what it means. And I think it's more important than ever that you've got to realize you've got to take ownership of your own career. No one owes you anything. Your employer doesn't owe you anything. And it's really important that you develop a mindset of constant learning because we don't know what the future holds. And so I'm really hyper-focused on what you need to learn to be relevant in the future. And it's what I call like mindsets that you need to develop rather than going out and learning a particular skill. It's around what I call mental models, and that you should be running in your day-to-day to prepare you for the future. But I want to share something.
Oh, that's so interesting. Wait, to give me an example of a mental model.
So a mental model would be the concept of learning that what I've learned up to this point is probably not going to make me employable in 5 years' time. So if that's the case, you've got to switch from you went through school, you went to university, you got your degree, and you kind of, if you look at how people's lives run, there's that big education piece before they go into their career. I feel like you're just going to keep running that now, as in keep re-educating, but also developing, like one of the mindsets I think is really critical to develop. When I said critical then, I'm like, did AI just plug into me? Because I just noticed that's one of the words it uses a lot lately. It's critical that you do this. It's critical, as in just when you're working with it, it seems one of the little bugbears at the moment, like the EM, which I was talking to you about earlier today, Andrew. But the thing is that when you get an answer, you need to be responsible enough to validate the answer with the AI solution. One of the examples I give, there was a police officer that arrested somebody because they were using AI to serve up who needed to be arrested. Like, that's very high level I'm talking about. The arrest profile photo looked nothing like the individual, but however the camera work in the country was working, it said that was the individual to arrest. So they arrested the dude. And like it goes to court and the judge goes, how could you think like the profile pic and the person don't even look anything the same? And the officer's defense was, well, the system told me it was him. So and it's like this kind of full abdication of, well, the technology told me, so therefore I will obey it and devoid my critical thinking. And so one of the mental models is that you need to become, if you've never been a critical thinker and you've been a passive absorber of the world around you, you need to change that, because more than ever, there's going to be a lot that's out there to manipulate your thinking, and AI can do it so effectively, and we'll do it even better in the future. And so you need to develop a mindset to question everything. Like, go, hang on a second, is this right? Is the reason for me getting this answer someone trying to influence me? Does someone make money off me doing what's been recommended, etc.? And it's these little thought processes that make, and it's so hard today, like, because when Trump was coming into his position earlier this year, etc., I was like, how do I find a news source that's not biased? It's not either going one way, he's an idiot, or the other way, saying he's the Messiah. And it's like, how do you find a news source? And I've found it very difficult to. Hey,
there isn't one on that topic.
I know, right? But it's like you take that now and amplify. Anybody can generate any type of news and manipulate anything, and I just think, we're going to develop mental models that allow us to act with a lot of thought in how we interface with everything going on around us in the world. And that's a rant. It's a rant, and I don't want to.
No, I love it. I'll definitely be in that in that session. I've got much to learn.
It is awesome. The other thing, so I want to show you something funny. Which is, it came to me, I had somebody on a podcast, and after that podcast, I put up this picture, and this is, by the way, my first post on LinkedIn, I think pretty much this year, which is the Power Platform, the vibe coding for the enterprise. But the whole idea of this Power Platform vibe coding for the enterprise, and the discussion I was having with a CVP in Microsoft about it, was that, the future of the Power Platform, I think, is not going anywhere, but the way we build with the Power Platform, I think, is going to dramatically change in the next 3 years. That's my observation.
It's already changing, right?
It'll be a tooling, but none of us will be working with it. And so I'd been seeing some stuff on vibe coding. I had whipped up a website the other day in literally 10 minutes with a prompt and deployed it across a CDN around the world in that time, public facing. It was a 30+ page website, and it looked freaking amazing from a prompt that I gave. And so then I go onto this call, and what it dawned on me, the more I see Microsoft put AI and Copilot into the interfaces and, the ability to prompt a build, I am wondering whether the Power Platform literally will become the vibe coding platform. And why I say for the enterprise is because it has all the enterprise governance and stuff built in. It has the, pipelines, ALM, all that type of great stuff supporting. And I think that perhaps where we have had low code, no code in the past, I think that might be, it could potentially become the vibe code platform of the enterprise, but with that enterprise governance, security, rigor, all that built in.
It's got one more thing that you didn't mention.
What was that?
Integration. It can integration.
Yeah.
It just integrates. You think the ALM isn't good enough? Great. It just integrates with another ALM system.
Yes.
You think that the automation isn't good enough? Awesome. For that specific use case, we use another technology. Yeah. You believe that you need a more advanced ML, piece of software functionality. You need to train a model. You need to do something fantastic. Awesome. Because this is what you will be doing instead of coding RBAC by hand.
Yeah.
Well, and there is, and I know we're going to have to wrap up. We're going to have to wrap up here, but I've been having a long, I'm trying to think of what to call it. I don't want to call it a debate, but kind of a long debate, right? One of the clients that I work with, and that Anna works with as well, they've a while back made a big decision to go with, Power Platform for some of their big enterprise app development. They actually hired a Microsoft partner who it was the worst partner performance I have ever seen. I think essentially this partner took millions and millions and millions of dollars, put it in a bag, and set fire to the bag. That was their primary achievement. So, this is obviously...
they made a lot of money in the meantime.
They made a lot of money, right?
Don't cry a tear, yeah.
But they absolutely fleeced their client, and it was horrible, which is part of the reason that Anna and I have been helping that client work through this. But this has left in the minds of some of the folks in this organization, has left a really bad taste for Power Platform. I think that what they don't understand is that they did not have a bad experience with the technology. They had a bad experience with the partner who was implementing the technology. So go all the way back to how we started this discussion. But in any case, one of the sort of, I think, red herrings that the naysayers in this organization who are not very enthused about Power Platform have thrown out is that, oh, it's not scalable. It's really meant for citizen developers and basic sorts of things, and it's not enterprise ready. And they've actually cooked up these wild architectures to get around using Power Platform that will cost the organization orders of magnitude more to implement. So anyway, I loved when I saw the other day the Forrester Wave, if anyone's familiar with those studies, right? There's a new Forrester Wave study out that rates Power Platform as the best offering in terms of strength of strategy and strength of offering, which is how Forrester Wave works. The best offering in low-code platforms for professional developers. And I thought this was a really, I loved seeing this, and it reminds me I actually need to share this with our clients. So on that note.
Beautiful. With that, we'll see you next time. Hopefully we'll get a session in at Dynamics Minds. We were on the same room like we did last year. That was fun. Perhaps we'll talk about the inspiration that Dynamics Minds gave us to launch our own conference later on in December this year. That is going to be off the Richter epic of epicness. That's something to be epic. I'm so looking forward to it. With that,
Mark Smith's body has been inhabited by Chris Huntingford's language. That's, bye, guys.
Bye.
Ciao. Thanks for tuning into the Ecosystem Show. We hope you found today's discussion insightful and thought-provoking. And maybe you had a laugh or two. Remember, your feedback and challenges help us all grow. So don't hesitate to share your perspective. Stay connected with us for more innovative ideas and strategies to enhance your software estate. Until next time, keep pushing the boundaries and creating value. See you on the next episode.
Are you ready to accelerate your career in the Microsoft ecosystem? The 90-Day Mentoring Challenge, created by Mark Smith, is your opportunity to create a personalized pathway to success. Join over 1,200 alumni from more than 70 countries who have achieved remarkable results, from promotions to new job opportunities. Take it from Nathan, who said, "Since completing the 90-Day Mentoring Challenge, I've become an MVP in business applications and doubled my income." Or from Parvez, who shares, "I've never felt as inspired or energized about my career as I do now." Sign up at arcor.nz365guide.com. You can find the link in the show notes. And if you use the code podcast, you'll get 10% off.